Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Hey everybody, it's goobo1 with less of a scratchy voice now that I've had some water. I was thirsty. I really should just have some water next to me when I record. But anyway, this is Clay Soldiers Episode 1, Meeting the Colors. Because this Let's Play is going to be like the Sneaky Bros. You may have heard of them at Ziglag and Up the Vale. If not, I will post a link in the description for them, because they were the first ones to start the Clay Soldier Civilization project. I am just doing my little own, because I want to do a few things different, like get you guys more involved. But first, we have this board, this room here. I spawned in a jungle, so I found a jungle and built all these, built that house over there for me, and this is where we are going to be setting up shop. So first, we have the first color, which is going to be the cyan color, which is basically a tealish color. You can see them in my inventory. Hotbar. Okay, so the cyan people have a population of 22 people. They have 16 civilians and 6 guards. Now, people who know what the Clay Soldiers mod means may understand what I mean by civilians. For those who do not, though, if you give Clay Soldiers wheat, they will become completely passive. They will not attack, even if they are getting beaten down by 100 soldiers. But yeah, they become passive if you give them wheat. So I have 16 Clay Soldiers down over there somewhere, who have been given wheat and have become peaceful. So they will not attack. That's where the 6 guards come in. They have not been given wheat, and they are the defenders of the village. And they are charged to protect everyone. And if you're wondering why the rain is making no noise, slight side effect of the Clay Soldiers mod. It might have just been a glitch, or maybe a problem with me installing it. But I don't mind. I don't like the rain sound when I'm trying to record. It may come back later. I have no idea. But I have also put in what resources they have and what food they have, because that can play a little bit of a part. Food, not so much, but the raw resources. This determines what they are going to be using, what their town is going to be made of, and things like that. And I'm going to get you guys involved by you guys telling me what are the Clay Soldiers going to be doing next. Will they expand their town? Will they set up an outpost, a mining outpost, or will they go to war with another tribe or group once they find them? It's all up to you guys on those. But this first little village, I decided to put in some little resources. They have resources: wood. I probably don't have to put planks there, but planks, wool, glass, and iron. Now, almost all of them are going to have wool. A few of them will not. But wool is basically what I use to put their beds. If there's a wool block, that's a Clay Soldier bed. But they don't need to sleep. I just wanted to do that for aesthetics. They also have iron, but they don't have much. They have low iron, because it was just native iron that they had found on the surface, and they were able to crudely smelt it. They also have apples. Over there, I will show you that they have a little apple tree, which is basically an oak tree, but I made it very small. But yes, this is basically a big room that will extend very far away once I start getting a lot of stuff for these guys. But yeah, that's that. Now this is my little house here. This is where I'm going to be. This is basically my little house where I will look over these little soldiers. I have crafting tables and chests, some soldiers and that, leather, things like that. Nothing in these 2 chests. Torch. But shall we meet the Clay Soldiers now? Sorry still for the rain. I wish it would stop, but it can rain for days in this game. Hello, Moo. Okay, this is our clay soldiers village. There are 2 houses, a town hall, guard tower, and a little park, as well as the little apple tree. And I think they stole all the apples. Oh, whoa, whoa, no. Okay. Sorry about that. I forgot. Clay soldiers, they can climb on top of blocks. Oh, good. But they cannot jump. I was freaking out because I was afraid they'd get out, but I remember they can't jump, and because of fences not being solid block anymore, they just fall if they try and get out. But yes, this is our town. Regular civilians just have little goggles you give them by dropping a glass block on the ground. It does not consume it. They just grab a little bit and put it on. You can pick up the block again. Now these are the guards. They also have goggles. They have leather armor with a white wool trim, which basically pads it. Different colored wools will give it different kinds of trim. The padding decreases the amount of damage they will take. They also have lily pad pants as a sign of their authority. And they have sharpened sticks and a studded shield. This means that if you give them a bowl, they will have a shield, and if you drop an iron block, they will get an iron shield. They will get a studded shield, iron shield, which is basically just a small upgrade to it. And that is why they have low iron. They can only afford to use iron to upgrade their shields, nothing else. Because there is a couple other things you can do with iron. But apparently, a lot of them like to hang out next to the apple tree, so that's kind of cool. Now, I put glass on the tops of all these houses. You can see there's a little bed, and you got a chest. And then you got big beds for groups of them if they want to all have a sleepover. This is basically the town center house thing. And there's also a guard tower. Now, this is where I put the guards in so I could kind of isolate them while I equipped them. I had to do a modification earlier because I had to put this in because they were all standing like right here and just jumping right down all the way, falling and dying. I had to fix that up. A little chest here, they can access them if there are blocks above them, so you don't have to worry about things like that. The reason this is like this is because I'm going to build a gate here later, but I haven't decided what to make it out of. Now, as I told you in the introduction, they like to wander, so I put fence everywhere. But yeah, these are our Cyan soldiers, our Cyan civilization. Oh, and they can't drown, so you don't have to worry about that. But I want you guys to tell me what you want me to add, what you want me to have happen. Do they want to expand their territory, maybe get a few more trees, or do they want to possibly build a mine over here and do things like that? Oh, poor guy. He's just staring at the house. But yeah, leave below in the comments what you want me to do with them. And yeah, I am completely open to any suggestion as long as it isn't completely changing. Like, say, blow up the guard tower. I'm not gonna blow up the guard tower, at least not yet. If they're losing a war, I might blow it up. But yeah, nothing right now. Shall I get into a little bit of their, like, superstitions? Because I did think of superstitions and stuff for these guys. Yeah. Okay. So basically, the reason that there are only yellow flowers around and within the countryside area, within their site, is that these guys believe red flowers are the flowers of evil and death. And that will actually come into play later when they start with some of the wars. If you guys start suggesting I start wars, that may come into play with the wars starting. But yes, they believe the red flowers are the flowers of death and evil, but they still like flowers, so they have yellow flowers planted everywhere. And they will later use them for trade with other civilizations, I guess, because they can give them to for use as dye, so they can get like little yellow trim on their suits. Now, just to tell you how many civilizations you guys can suggest, there is as many civilizations as there are dyes. We can have red, green, brown, blue, purple, cyan, we already have them, orange, magenta, which is like a little purpley pink, light blue, yellow, lime green, pink, gray, light gray, and white, and we can also have black. We can also have black, but apparently the squid ink sac is not showing up here that I can see. But yes, you can also have black. There is no difference other than color. There used to be, with black attacking everyone including themselves, and whites used to not do anything, but then they just got rid of that and put in wheat to make them peaceful and nether wart to make them completely crazy. So if you think about it, you could, if you wanted to, use the nether wart to create like gladiator battles in a big arena. Say these guys went to war and captured a few purples. They could build an arena, throw them in, give them nether wart, give them a couple items and some nether wart, open the doors, and see what happens. But yeah, this is our cyan village, and we have the guards, which are also the peacekeepers. We have our little civilians. Just tell me if you want me to add anything else, because this is just basic right now. The only thing I am against is you cannot tell me to give the civilians lily pads, to give them pants, except for possibly one type of civilization. But the reason for that is the lily pads are a sign of authority with most clay soldiers. At least, that's my little mythology of it. Yeah. But that's pretty much it in this village. These chests did have some apples in them from the apple tree, but I guess all the clay soldiers took them. Apples basically will restore their health. They'll restore 2.5 hearts to them each time they eat them, and they'll take a snack every time they drop below that health. And they do have, so they will be able to restore their health. If these guys get attacked, the civilians will still have health. Now, every new video, I will do a few maintenance things. Like, I will put a few more I'll put like 2 or 3 apples in the chests from picking them, because each video, in my mind, is like 2 or 3 days. I may put some sticks or things in these chests, or maybe some food. I'm not exactly sure. I really want your guys' opinion. Maybe we should put some leather in there and give all our civilians some shirts, or something like that. But really, that's all I had to talk about right now. Next video will come out in a couple days, maybe. I will be posting Conquest of Elysium. This is just a lot easier to edit. No screen flicker with clay soldiers. That's kind of my reasoning for doing this. That and clay soldiers are awesome. Hello, little clay soldiers. But yeah, and I will also, every video I will be adding 2 or 3 new more clay soldiers to a village to update their population, because hey, it's a couple days, they found some clay and they create more of their soldiers. But that's really it. Leave your comments down below on more suggestions. Thank you guys all for watching, and I will see you guys next time with more on the clay soldiers mod. And then the video after that will be some Conquest of Elysium, because we really got to finish up Baron. It's taken quite a few parts. And ending this video off on a really good point, something new, something fresh, something not done too much, kind of unique, which is kind of why I stopped Minecraft a little bit. I wanted something unique to set myself apart, and even though another Let's Player is doing this, I will I still find this a little bit unique, so because I'm doing it differently than how they did it. Anyway, I keep rambling. Thank you all for watching. See you guys next time.